Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Better Thyself. Each one of us wants to be intelligent. So do you. And it has various manifestations, but one very simple way is to identify the causal relationship between intelligence and the other human aspects. When I say human, we know that human beings have got various emotions: angry, annoyed, sad, dejected, despondent, desperate, happy. And they have various attitudes relating to these emotions. A person can be a dull person, a person can be always sad, and a person can be humorous. And you would be amazed that humor is closely linked with your intelligence. If you have a sullen face all the time, it sends a signal to your brain that's all gray, that there is no light at the end of the tunnel. I remember Albert Einstein once wrote that his brilliant mind is because of childlike sense of humor. So, humor can change your brain so that you become smarter, friendlier, and most important, more satisfied with life. By itself, it has no meaning. But the way it causes reaction in your brain is important. And it causes a certain chemical reaction. Laughter by yourself. Laughing with others. Not laughing at others. All that increases the production of dopamine. And dopamine, you are aware, is one chemical that enhances your intelligence, your logical and reasoning power, and your cognitive skills. Recently, in Austria, they conducted a huge research. And the result of the research was that funny people, particularly those enjoying dark humor, have higher IQs than their less funny peers. The research also revealed that it takes both cognitive and emotional ability to produce and process humor. A person who is not intelligent cannot process humor. Humor at that time is something very subtle. You have got to appreciate the difference between comic and burlesque. Comic can be humorous. Burlesque can be tawdry. It's not humorous. And the result of the research also revealed that the people with a sense of humor have higher verbal and non-verbal intelligence. Even their communication ability is better. And they scored in mood disturbance and aggressiveness. You are aware as a human being that you want to mix with the people who are really smart and who are nice to talk to you. And what happens is the people who are nice to talk to you have a sense of humor. And that is linked to the higher emotional intelligence. The emotional quotient that I have talked earlier is closely linked with the sense of humor. And it's a highly desirable quality both in your life partner and in your friends. The evolutionary psychologists describe humor as a heritable trait that you inherit the sense of humor from your parents. As a Mendel's law of heredity, Maybe not from your parents, but from your grandparents. Maternal or paternal. It can go up to 2 or 3 generations back. But heritable trait also signals mental fitness and mental agility to prospective partners and friends. In studies of attractiveness, it has been seen that both men and women prefer to find people who are more attractive, and when we talk of being more attractive, sense of humor is a predominant one. It's one of the most important traits in human beings. In psychology, we use the term positive humor style to refer to those people who use humor to enhance relationship and reduce conflict. You know, somebody is being nasty and you just smile and walk away. Not only will the person who is nasty feel belittled and insulted, but you would have eased the tension around. And this is the type of humor that is associated with relationship satisfaction, extrovert, and high self-esteem. A man can walk away from a very distressing situation only if he holds himself in high esteem. The people who respond brickbat by brickbat do not have much of self-esteem. That is not to say that you should always run away. Exchange brickbat for brickbat to a certain limit, and when you see that the other person is incapable of understanding, then what I usually do is that your observations are even below my contempt to notice. So, when you have that attitude, well, that person's attitude is so contemptuous that you should not even notice it. You develop a sense of self-esteem. And that gives you ability to smile and walk away. This would, as I said, make you feel better in yourself. And when you have a higher self-esteem, you are more able to exert a positive impact on others. You know, it's a good coping strategy as well. When you have stress and you have adversity, the humor is like a sunshine that dispels darkness and cold. But then, you know, humor is not only laughing. There are two aspects of humor. As I said earlier about comedy and burlesque. Some people indulge in ridicule, sarcasm. That's not humor. That's self-defeating. It doesn't offer the same effect. But they alienate people from you and make you more aggressive and also send you into a pool of depression. What is you have to be able to do is not only laugh at people, but to be able to laugh at yourself. And neurobiology shows that when you are able to laugh at others and at yourself, even in the trickiest of situations, that leads to the changes in brain. And that change in brain is responsible for making you more intelligent. Neuropsychological studies have revealed that when you experience positive emotional state such as joy, fun, happiness, that increases the production of dopamine, as I said earlier, and makes you feel great, opens up the learning center of the brain and makes you connect with the people. The sense of empathy, which I've been always talking about, that makes you an authentic human being, comes when the dopamine level in your brain is at the optimum level. And that is not possible if you are despondent, depressed, sad, and unable to take the barbs of life. As a matter of fact, the sense of humor is an armor which protects you from the miseries and the pains. And when you can face miseries and the pains, when you can withstand the ridicule and the insult with a smile, but not accept it. Now, there's a difference between take it and accept it. Because when you take it, you shed it like a waterproof covering that you have, that somebody is splashing water at you and you don't get wet. So you don't take it, but you don't accept it. Remember Lord Buddha, somebody abused him and he smiled. The man who abused him was amazed and he asked, how is it that I'm insulting you, I'm abusing you and you are still smiling? He said, suppose instead of insults, you had brought me a gift and I had refused to take it, where would the gift be? He said, with me. He says, the same way you have insulted me, I don't accept it, they remain with you. And Lord smiled and walked away, and his disciples learnt a lesson, that with a smile and not only false smile, no, that's very important. There can be smiles, and yet you can be a villain. The smile should be natural and innocent, coming from the heart. That would be the sense of humor creating it. A put-on smile is a mask which can hide your physical body, but cannot hide your mind and brain. And what is more important, to impact your brain and your mind. So, humor actually, what happens? It boosts your perception of confidence, competence, and status. You know, the political leaders who have a sense of humor get people to listen to them and they follow them like sheep to a slaughter even. Do you know that a teacher in a class who uses humor as an aid to learning makes his students learn better? So what happens is, if you have fun at a workplace even, you do not burn out, you are not dissatisfied. And that's why the best companies today, like Microsoft and Facebook, what they are doing is, they are providing a sense of fun at work. As I said, it's a very effective way to increase your capability and to teach others. Imagine you go to a classroom, or go to a teacher, and the teacher has a face, door. That's repelling. That's repelling to you. And then what happens? That repellent face makes you shut off all communication. And you are deprived. So humor at that time has to take the two shapes. One is, you should be able to penetrate the sad, dejected face of the interlocutor and understand what's in his mind. That's for your benefit. But you keep your sense of humor at the optimum level. And the more you are able to enjoy the humor of life, humor of character, humor of situation, humor of conversation, humor of communicating, and humor at seeing what conditions we human beings are. Despite all the adversities, despite all the pains and the miseries, you would be generating the chemical change in your brain. You will be enhancing the level of dopamine in your brain. And you would be more intelligent. You'll be smarter. You'll be more acceptable in society. And you would be on the road to become a leader. I'm not saying that humor is the only part, but it's one of the most important characteristics of a good leader, of a good teacher, and of a better and more intelligent human being. So they are closely linked, but humor of the nature which is soothing, which is enjoyable, not the humor which is an innuendo, which is an insult. And one thing you would have seen, that in this age of political correctness, humor is being lost. People are afraid to say many things because they think they might be politically incorrect. Humor needs a wider freedom of mind and emancipation of brain. So the social conditions do impact, but you have to get over those conditions and keep your capability to smile and be happy all the time. And the more humorous you are, you will spread sunshine and be a better human being. Thank you.